broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Buzzers, and welcome to another episode of Spotlight On. I'm Lauren Salaun, and today I'm sitting down and chatting with Mr. Scott Keeney, better known as DJ Skee.
What's up, Lauren?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, let me tell everyone a little bit more about you.
Okay.
So, DJ Skee is an award-winning DJ, radio personality, TV host, producer, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and digital media executive, just to name a few things.
If you say so.
Yeah. Hey, it's all very impressive. You've got a lot going on. It's awesome.
I don't know about it. We try.
In under a decade, you've generated more than 1 billion media impressions. You have a network of over 500,000 social media followers, and you've been called the Oprah of our generation.
Oprah of music. That's funny. Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Mark Cuban.
Yeah,
by the way, he said
Mark
that.
Cuban. He said that, that's awesome.
I'll take it from him. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, whatever. But
what does that mean? Yeah, I can see it being a huge compliment, but then also a little intimidating.
Yeah, I hope he didn't mean my looks or anything. 'Cause I think we look a little differently.
I don't know. Yeah, you're a little taller than she is, I think. So your new show, Skee TV, just premiered on Fuse last week. And on Skee TV, you give viewers a really unique insider look at the latest trends and upcoming trendsetters in music, sports, fashion, tech, style, you name it. Really folks that are on the cutting edge. And for everyone out there listening, you can watch Skee TV on Fuse Thursday nights at 10:30, 9:30 Central. And I can only imagine how pumped you must be right now to have it out there. I bet it's been so much work. Can you tell us a little bit about the process?
I mean, we've been doing Skee TV for a while online, and built one of the original lifestyle channels on YouTube with the daily programming, and at one point even reinvented the music video business, and have done so many different things. But to do it for TV, it's just a whole different animal with what we're doing. I mean, from building a big production, utilizing the production budgets and the fun things that come with television, is we've been able to build like an incredible stage, insane studios, and really add a lot of elements and really up our production and the quality of everything that you've seen and take it to another level. So it's been awesome, but lots of work. We were out shooting, late last night, and getting up early, editing, turning things in. It's it's not like online where now we actually have true deadlines. It was always before just get it up ASAP, but now we have to. Now we have a weekly show that comes on that people have to tune into every Thursday, and but it's really fun. It's awesome, and it's a great process.
Right, and there are so many different segments and different guests coming on that I can only imagine how busy and how many moving parts.
And I forgot about the whole booking element of it too.
Yeah, scheduling everybody on a weekly basis, and multiple people, because you're not having just one guest a week. And speaking of guests, you are planning on having quite a few special guests this season, including Common, Action Bronson, Sam Hunt, and tons of other people. And
so many people.
Yeah, even in the premiere had Machine Gun Kelly, Marina and the Diamonds, Fashawn, and DJ Alesso. So, of these guests, has anyone so far surprised you, where you know kind of what you're getting into, but where you just were like, dang, I wasn't expecting that, and it was awesome.
They're all so good. I mean, Machine Gun Kelly for the first show was just great because he came out and talked for the first time about his new projects and new music, but he's so passionate, and his fan base is so rabid. It's just great seeing somebody go on stage and leave it all up there. And then this week with Action, I mean, I've known Action for a while. He actually used an interview that we did together a while ago as part of one of the intros for his last project. So we just have great chemistry, and it's great to see him blowing up and being so successful with everything that he does, from Coachella to all that. And we also have a couple other performers like OT Genesis, who had maybe the song of the year so far with Coco. I'm in love with Coco, that everybody has heard, so he's performing that. But for the first time ever, I think, backed by a live band. We have a new up-and-coming guy, Post Malone, who's got this record, White Iverson, that's blown up in the streets. It's his first TV performance ever, plus all the pre-tape segments. So it's tough to just choose one. Like, I really get excited about everything, having like the biggest record, the hottest artist, artist and the next one, like all in one. And that's really what Skee TV is about. It's about, the epicenter of all these things in our culture and really being ahead of the curve with everything that we do.
Totally. And you've definitely, built a reputation on being able to identify those key trendsetters. Is that something that you always kind of wanted to do, like be with those up and comers, or is that kind of a skill that's developed or an interest that's developed over time?
I've always been fascinated with new music and finding who's next. And even when I was a teenager, I started off DJing by doing mixtapes, and which is all about exposing new records, new artists, and used to run around trying to steal records so I could get them first, be the first DJ to get them and play them. And then, breaking artists from, you look back, I've known Kendrick now over 10 years and all these guys. So we have long relationships with a lot of these guys that you're starting to hear. And a lot of people know me for playing some of the biggest artists of the last generation on radio for the first time. And it's always been something that I'm about, and now we're really bringing it to television so we can always showcase who we really feel is right on the cusp of blowing up and give them that first opportunity for, their TV performances.
Totally. Definitely. So I want to talk a little bit about how you got your start. I know you just mentioned mixtapes, and we'll get to that. So you moved around a bit when you were younger, but grew up really in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And how would you describe yourself growing up?
Everything. I've always been into everything. It was not just one genre of music. I mean, people try to associate yourself with one thing, and obviously, the Urban and Hip Hop Foundation kind of gave me my start in the industry, but, I listened to everything growing up, from alternative to pop to...
Sam Hunt's a country.
Yeah, for sure. To, my mom listened to country, to Prince, who, was from, growing up at the time when he was one of the hottest artists ever, in the world, was just incredible. And for me, I just was into everything from technology to sports to music to, fashion. And that's really what, I've just developed my channel into. It's weird. Like, I've really figured out what I like and how to create a business around it at the end of the day. That's all it really is. So that's everything that you see. And that's why I think that we've been able to build this audience that we have, because it's really what I'm personally into and I'm passionate and excited about. So you see anytime where anything that I'm doing, I'm really into it, because that's what my life has been since I was a kid. And now we're just taking it to a bigger stage.
That's awesome. So you have, at this point, over 100 mixtapes under your belt, I believe?
Some crazy number. Yeah, I can't even believe that, but yeah, I'm sure.
And you started making them when you were like 15 years old. So which led to some regional recognition. How did you hustle your music when you're a little teenage kid?
I mean, I was trying to make myself look like I was the biggest person in the world. And I remember I started a website, and I'd have my friends, we'd sell, because the way that we would still sell the mixtapes in stores, I mean, I'd sell them in my high school, but the real goal was to try to get all the little independent mom and pop record stores to sell them. So I had a couple of guys that would kind of work with me, and we'd just call stores all day, and I'd act like I was representing somebody. I'd act like I wasn't myself.
I'm the PR agent for Dj Skee.
Exactly. We're like, you don't have it.
Let me get him.
We'll send you these on consignment. They're the hottest things ever. So just really going out there and putting in that legwork. It's
totally
crazy.
So at 16, you started DJing in Minneapolis. I imagine you were probably one of the younger guys at the radio station there. How'd you get your foot in the door there?
I was doing mixtapes, and I started in my school, and then I started selling them at a local record store out there. And I remember I just kept coming in, and the tapes were actually moving. Like, they were good, I think, and people liked them. So I asked the owner of the store, I was like, hey, I want to get on radio. There was a local community station, and he gave me a shot and connected me with one of the guys that did a show there. So they brought me up. I started off Saturday nights at like 4 a.m., but it was my start and foundation. And, it was fun times, my earliest memories, and it's led to where I am today.
Awesome.
But yeah.
What would you say was like your big break, or even a few, big moments that you're like, okay, this is huge, and things aren't going to be the same moving forward? There's
been a couple. I mean, one was connecting with Steve Rifkin when he offered me, Steve Rifkin was the CEO of Loud and Sony at the time. So when I was on radio, one of my DJ friends connected me with him, and I eventually stayed in contact and sent him a proposal on what I thought he was doing wrong with his label. So he offered me a job. I didn't even expect that. I just wanted to get like some free music or something, and I thought it'd be the coolest thing. And he came to me and offered me a job, moved me to LA. So figured a way to graduate high school a year early and moved out here. Finished when I was like 17. Came out to LA. Never really been out here before. And
worked directly underneath
him, right? So that was it. And then another key moment was because I was always DJing, but I was working more on the business side, the music business then. And key moment was around the time, right when I produced Game's record 300 Bars, where he went at it with 50 Cent, which is one of the most biggest hip hop diss records ever. And I kind of got thrown in the middle by producing that record. And, that was really my opportunity from the mainstream stage to get noticed as a DJ, as a producer, is all those things. So I kind of used that. And, I'd really say those are two probably the key moments.
All right.
And plus having a TV show now. Being everywhere on Fuse Thursday nights.
Definitely. What's going on right now is huge. We'll probably lead to tons more.
Yeah.
Open up those doors. Keep you super busy, huh?
Yep.
So speaking of radio, you were with KIIS-FM here in LA from 2008 to 2014, which is a solid chunk of time. Like 6 years as their featured DJ. So what are some of your favorite memories from that?
Man, it was a great experience just seeing how it worked, especially on the biggest station in the country, and everybody there was great. And even being Sirius for 10 years, and in those times it was a great run, and the artists that we got to put on and break first, whether it was having I brought up Justin. I remember Scooter calling me and bringing up Justin for his first interview ever up there, and nobody really knew who he was. I remember asking Scooter, I was like, how do you pronounce his last name? Bieber. This is it sounds crazy now, because Scooter called like, I got this kid. I was like, all right, come on, I got you. And to even I remember I played Lorde and got in trouble for playing her too early. Her record label didn't want me to play it, and I was like, this record's dope. So just being able to see and play a lot of those guys on radio were always fun things, and seeing those artists early on and them grow and develop into some of the biggest stars in the world was great.
Yeah, and so you left KIIS last year because, in paraphrasing your words, you wanted to pursue other challenges and felt like you were a little tired of the traditional radio formats, and not too long after that launched Dash Radio. Yeah. So what is your vision with Dash? Well,
we think that, radio, when you look at it, radio is my foundation and passion, and the true reason that everything that I do is kind of here is because of radio. And when you look at it now, we feel like, it really hasn't adjusted with the times. You look at all these different industries, you look at what Uber's done to taxis, you look at what YouTube's done to, even television. I mean, look where we are, and all these different industries and how they're being disrupted by these new things. And I feel like radio's kind of next in line for that. And I feel like there's something inevitable is going to happen to it, where it really hasn't caught up with the times, where it's, only a few corporations own all of that. It's very costly and expensive to get into, and it's not really that good. You don't hear all that much variety. You still hear a massive amount of commercials. So we went out and said, look, we think there's a better version of radio. Let's take it back to its core and essence of breaking new talent, breaking new music, getting rid of the commercials that we don't even think they work for the brands, because people are tuning out when you play as many as they do, and playing the same repetitive playlists. We think there's, all these things. You see?
That's every hour it just rotates, right?
It's the same thing, and there's no variety. I mean, you look at all these, because of the internet, because of technology, it's so much cheaper and stuff to record, and all these subgenres of music have blown up. Like, look at the electronic music scene, the teen pop scene. And they're not represented. There's no radio stations for them. So we're like, hey, let's put together the best stations that we can all in one place. And especially as radio finally goes from analog to digital, we think, as you see the connected car coming out, the old needing an AM, FM, or even satellite signal is not going to be needed. It's going to be an equal playing field between us and everybody else, with apps and with the internet connected to everything. So we just saw there being a huge opportunity, and we just wanted to make radio good again. And that exact reaction that you had is the reason that we're doing it. You nailed it for us. We couldn't have said it better.
Curated all by
it's all curated by
DJs,
actual DJs and the biggest, some of the biggest DJs in the world, some of the biggest brands and curators, and it's free, it's easy, you just click on it, you don't have to think or know anything, you just get the best content from the best in every single field.
So what do you think of Jay-Z's Tidal?
I think it's interesting. I think, I'm actually going to talk about it on the show on Thursday night.
Yeah?
No, all the streaming services. So good question. But I think that, he's trying to do something different. So there's an opportunity right now for the artists everybody's trying to cut out the middleman. So the next evolution of the music business, it's gone from people buying vinyl to buying tape to buying CDs to MP3s. And now there's this streaming service, which is the next evolution of that. And instead of his thought process is, well, instead of giving, somebody else a cut of that action, he wants the wholesale and the retail. So it's like him, if this was a CD era trying to open Best Buy or his own chain of stores that would only sell that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because Apple's about to reintroduce their whole new music service this June. Spotify's obviously the market leader, and they're just raising a ton of money right now. And what you're going to kind of see is all these fragmented different services, where Tidal's going to have, I'm going to break the news on an exclusive album they're putting there tomorrow from two of their biggest founders. You can probably do the math if you think about it, but we'll formally talk about it on Skee TV tomorrow night. But they're going to put that out exclusively through their service. So if you use Spotify, you won't get it. At the same time, Apple is trying to get Taylor Swift and I think Florence and the Machine and other people, and they're going to put out their stuff exclusively with Apple. So the one thing I don't want the music to do that it has a chance to do now is kill itself again, like it did with the MP3 era by trying to stop it. Now everybody's trying to fight each other for this share of the market, when the market hasn't really gotten there, and people are still still getting new for the mainstream world to these streaming services. And if you say, oh, you have to subscribe here and here and here and here to get all that, it's a much bigger ask for the average person. The average person's not going to pay $50 for 5 services just to hear the records that they like.
Yeah. Now, what about for the more indie artists? Because that's been a big, one of the criticisms of these services is that they don't end up getting, you know, it doesn't really work to their benefit necessarily.
Absolutely. I mean, you see, it's kind of like with everything else. I mean, indie artists still have to figure out a way to get known, and because Spotify and all these services pay based off of how many people listen. That's the business model of it. So you need to have a mass market listening, just like the same with buying a CD. But what you're hearing too is a lot of artists complain about getting penny in royalties, but you'd hear them saying that back when the CD was out, because the labels are getting paid, but the artists not necessarily always a part of that. And it's interesting though, because I feel like one move that Jay-Z did bad with the title announcement, even though I think he has his head in the right place of where it's going, is not including a lot of those indie artists. I mean, he gathered the 16 arguably most successful artists in the business, and a lot of people felt like, oh, the rich are complaining about not making much and trying to get richer. He should have gone out and found, I think looking back, they would have done it differently. I think he actually has good intentions for it, and that's his goal, and he will bring those things in, but I think it came off really bad, and all the other companies now are running smear campaigns against it to really rub it in. So
I know, I was reading tons of negative feedback about it this past week.
It's everywhere.
Stuff. But definitely, like you said, I think the right intentions, just
we'll see how it works out.
So you already mentioned how you helped to break Bieber and Lorde on the radio, but you've also, can be credited with Akon, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, and more people. So when you first met those artists and had them in the studio to interview, did you know that did you have a feeling that they'd be huge one day, as big as they are now?
Some yes, some no. When I met Kendrick, he was still a teenager. It was like 10 years ago when he still was going by the name K-Dot. And I remember meeting him, and he was just like the best freestyler ever. He was just rap. Like, he'd sit there and rap for 20 minutes straight. The problem was, I was like, oh, that's great that he can rap, but can he put together a real record? I was like, if he could ever make a real record, he'll be good. And he ends up making some of the best records ever now. So it's interesting. He always had that talent, and I always said, like, look, if he can actually put it all together and develop, because he was still, he couldn't have put out the music that he did today. He just wasn't ready yet. He hadn't put in the work, and he saw the struggles, and it made him who he was. But for them, for sure, from Lorde, when you heard the record, you just knew it right away. Bieber,
and I'm sure when you met her, she was like 12 or something, right?
It was actually not too recently. She just came over to the U.S. the first time the record was starting to blow up overseas in New Zealand and Australia, and I wanted to be early on it here in the States because I heard it, and I was like, this is an instant smash. It's a no-brainer. Same with like Sam Smith when he came through. It was blowing up at other places, but we saw it. But then you have like Gaga and Bieber, who I thought were really talented, but you see a lot of talented artists come through. Bieber, it was something different just because I saw, like, I remember there were girls waiting outside. I was like, I thought Scooter had brought him in. I was like, yo, you didn't have to, like, I'm your boy. Like, I would have hooked you up. You don't have to pretend. And he's like, no, it's real. I thought he was faking. I thought he, like, had girls come down, and no, it was all legit. But once I saw that, I knew that there was something more to it than just that. And Gaga was just so talented musically with everything that she did. So you just knew she was going to make it one way or the other.
What do you think of the direction Gaga's been going in lately with kind of going back to the more classic stuff?
I think it's great. She's so talented. I think, the one negative thing about her is that she's always tried to outdo herself and out-top herself. And she's not the type of artist that needs to have all the distractions and things always, because she's actually legitimately talented. She doesn't need to do the press stunts and all that.
Good.
Her voice, I mean, you're seeing it with the Tony Bennett album. Her voice and her musicality and everything that she plays is incredible. I think sometimes people get caught up because they see all the extra stuff and the meat costume, which I get, and there's a place, but there's sometimes people are like, all right, what's next? And she got to a point where she was so big and she'd done everything. It's like, how can you top? What are you going to do next? Don't worry about it. Strip it down and go back to the music, and that's what she did with this project.
It's incredible. Like at the Grammys, the Sound of Music thing, I was like blown away. Incredible. My dad was even texting me like, wow, Lady Gaga.
Yes, and that's what nobody realized that. So I think it's so great that she's just focusing on the music and stripping down all of that, and I think it's going to be great for her.
Definitely, and good artists, they go through those changes.
For sure. It's evolution.
Yeah. So, who are a few artists that right now that are just starting out that you think have that same kind of superstar power like a Bieber or Gaga?
It's tough to put people on that big of a level. There's a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, people that I'm just personally listening to and excited about. I mean, this week there's a big record. This White Iverson, Post Malone is performing that we think is going to be good. There's these kids I grew up in Minnesota and St. Paul, and there's these kids. They have the group called The Standard. So it's like this kid Spooky Black, Alan Kingdom, who actually Kanye just featured him on his latest single, All Day. So I think those guys are really, really talented. I like them. I mean, there's so many good things. There's some new stuff coming out of the TDE camp. I'm into like a lot of the tropical house stuff on the EDM side that I think is really blowing up. I mean, Kygo's already blown up, but there's some really cool things coming up in those lanes. There's a lot of good music out right now. We're in like a golden era of music. It's made it, it's the tough thing is figuring out there's so much stuff out there, finding the real good stuff to really play, and that's our biggest challenge.
So now, aside from just music, what are some of the maybe visual artists or athletes or designers that are really up and coming and that you're excited to watch grow?
Oh, that's a great question. Besides music, I mean, let's see, athletes. I'm a sports fan, so let's talk about like my Timberwolves. We've got a young team, so I'm excited about. We have Anthony Wiggins, Zach LaVine, who Anthony's gonna win Rookie of the Year. So I've got to support. Them. So I think we have finally, for the first time in recent memory, the Timberwolves have hope in the future.
Yeah. I'm a 49ers fan, and I've just my heart's been breaking.
It's tough
a lot
for you
over the last few years.
You guys were in such a great place too. If I would have said 2 years ago, if I would have told you what would have happened, you would have never believed me. Like you guys were on. You had the future in your hands. Anyways, I'm a Vikings fan, so
it's sad. Yeah,
we're finally going up. We were the opposite. If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have said, "Oh, it's all bad." But now we're on the way up. We got Teddy Bridgewater, so them in the sports world, the fashion world. I mean, the stuff that changes so much. I mean, Virgil's killing with all this stuff, but a lot of people already know about his stuff. Shout out to my guy Jerry, who does Fear of God stuff. He's been murdering Kanye's all over that. So I've known him for 10, 11 years. So it's great to see him achieving success. And there's so many talented people on the art side. We have some of our guys that we work with. There's this crazy guy, Aaron Axelrod, who designed our building a while ago, who's just a nut, but he's done some incredible pieces and true visionary. There's some really cool stuff out there right now.
Awesome. Cool. So obviously, in addition to being a musician and very much in the music world, you're also very much a businessman. So I want to talk about the business side of things a little bit. So what kind of does a day or a week in the life of DJ Skee look like?
It changes. It depends on the day.
I know.
It depends on the day. I try to look.
That's a tough question.
Hopefully, I can work out when I wake up, or run, or do something to clear my mind. And then it's from the moment I wake up, it's just responding to emails, seeing, getting back to messages, seeing what I need to take over, and then figuring out what to do for the day. It could be going out and shooting a TV show. It could be interviewing somebody. It could be traveling for either meetings or for a show. There no 2 days are the same, which is great. It's never something super repetitive.
Right. So anyone who's really achieved any level of success, especially with an entrepreneurial mindset, has had their fair share of failures as well. Yeah. So can you tell us some of your career setbacks and kind of how you powered through them, or lessons you've learned?
For sure. I mean, the biggest thing I think is persistence with everything that you do, whether it was even starting Skee TV and trying to get it on TV, or starting Dash Radio and trying to actually make this thing that was just a dream come to life. There's obstacles that you face every day, from how are you going to pay for it? How are you going to survive? How do you find the right people? How do you actually get it up? And then so many little things, from business to, serving even internally, with finding the right people to gather around to help you out with that, to getting it off the ground and getting people to take notice. And you face, so many things that try to stop you, or reasons why it doesn't make sense. And people that, especially early on in the process of creative things, people that don't believe in it or don't really get it, and it'll kind of turn you away or try to turn you away from it. But if you really believe in something, you just kind of have to stay passionate and stick through it. And that's kind of what I've always done. I mean, you face more obstacles than anything else, I think, than successes. It's just finding a way to be persistent and figure out ways to navigate around them. That's what I've always been able to kind of do to make it happen.
Yeah. Any specific setbacks or challenges come to mind?
Every day it's like dealing with, all right, now this artist can't perform, or like looking at the TV show, or he's got to come in later because he's late from Coachella, and it's like, all right, or he's like, now his stuff's here, he's got to leave because he's got another show, but we haven't shot that, so it's running around and maneuvering that. So I'd say stuff. Just, I mean, even recently with the TV show, just making sure that we can get the timing right and set up with all that. So, you know, like we're going to be able to make it happen with action, but even then they're like, oh, I might not be able to perform and all that. And we worked it all out. So it's happening. But yeah, it's just like even last second things, you fight through them and figure out, like we had to move things around and figure out a way to make it work. We didn't just sit there and say, oh, okay, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. So what's some of the best career advice that you've gotten, maybe from a mentor or someone else in the industry?
I think that's one of it, is being persistent. And then the other thing is, like, when you have these visions, figure out a way to go out and do them. Don't just sit on them. You know, I've been, even with Dash, I've been thinking of the idea for a while, and I was like, at one point, I was like, I just got to do this, or stop talking about it and go out and see if it's real and see if it's going to be successful and work. So I think that half of it is just, you know, stepping into the game is more than half the battle. Once you enter it, then you can figure out how to get there. It's just showing up.
Mm-hmm. So you've worked on a ton of huge digital campaigns over the years, and you're super savvy when it comes to digital media and marketing. In today's day and age, obviously, everyone is like crazy connected, and they're sharing everything they're doing with everybody at every second. So how does somebody, you know, an up-and-comer, kind of cut through all that noise in the digital space, especially if they don't have like a big budget behind them?
It's a great thing. I don't think it's interesting. Everybody always asks me that, and there's not really a good answer, but I don't think I don't think you need a big budget. I think a lot of that stuff, I think any marketing right now is often just becomes noise, because there's so much stuff out there, and what, you know, the internet has done is provided a level playing field for everybody. So we all have the same, you know, ability to spread something out through the same tools, whether it's YouTube, whether it's SoundCloud, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And what you don't need to do is try to market to people, because there's so much stuff out there. You just instantly tune it out, and it doesn't work. It really has to, like, my thought process and what I tell everybody is, we can't just market something, even if we're good at marketing, if the talent, if the product isn't right, if the song isn't right, if whatever it is, it really has to kind of do it on its own, and we can help enhance that and spread it and utilize things like Dash Radio, like Skee TV to promote and to get those things out further to that market. But it has to be there, and there has to be a demand for it before then, and you really have to just grow it and get it up. And if it's good, people will find it and talk about it themselves, and that's the best marketing. And you can't buy fake or anything else. You don't need to spend all this money on marketing and blowing it up. That's one thing that I think a lot of people go wrong with. It's just go out, get it out there, and if it's good, people will react.
Make some good stuff, and it'll
just do it, and then push it out, and, you know, get it to a couple people, and let them. If you like something, you're going to tell two people, and then if they like it, they'll tell people. That's the way things that form. There's no way to really get around that. You used to be able to force things down people's throats, and that's why you see old media, like even radio, you hear the same songs because they just try to force it down. But I don't think that that's the way of the future.
Yeah. Who would you consider some of your role models? And regardless of industry.
There's so many. I mean, one person that we were just talking about that I think is just so incredible that I feel so stupid when you even, like, you know, think of the things that he's saying. Is like Elon Musk with what he's done for Tesla and building Hyperloop and SpaceX and all that. He's just on another level. I think he's going to go down as, you know, one of the smartest guys in the history of the world. But I mean, I'm influenced by so many people, from different DJs, from hosts, from musicians, from producers, from artists, from business people. I really try to take influence and listen and learn from as many people as I can, regardless of what their field is. Like, I just am interested by people and how they operate and how they're successful and what gets you know, what's their drive is. And that's what I try to get even out of my interviews when we're doing them on TV. It's not just about finding out, you know, the latest gossip or whatever it is and the generic questions that everybody else asks. It's like, all right, how did you get here? What motivates you? How does this work? How did you get on? What was the keys to your success? And for me, it's looking at, you know, beyond Elon. I really take influence from every artist that I'm around, because regardless, even if it's the new, hot, fresh young kids, like, those kids are teaching me something. I'm like, wow, you made it through this way, or you're doing it because of Snap, you blew it because of Vine and Snapchat, and you utilize those tools in a different way that I never thought of. So I try to take inspiration from everything and everybody that I come across.
Yeah, awesome. So in Marked Up, which is one of the segments on Skee TV, you cover the world of tattoos. So do you have any tattoos?
No tattoos. None. That's what's so great about the segment.
Yeah. If you were to get a tattoo, what would you get?
I have no idea. It's a question. I used to want tattoos, but that's why I never got one. I could never figure out what I'd get or something, because I change my mind so frequently. And what I'm into right now, I probably won't be into in 6 months, let alone 6 years. So I just never did it. Plus, my complexion, it would show so much with it when you look at me. So it just, it just
but
wouldn't
that's
work
the point,
out.
right?
Yeah, a little too much, a little more on me, I think, than the average person. So I just, you know, I think there's so many interesting stories around them, and it's such a big part of the culture. And it's also almost for me being different, not having one now. I'm like one of the few that don't have one. What about you?
I was
you
like
have
Googling pictures, like DJ Skee, tattoos, nothing.
Just the tramp stamp, but we won't tell it.
Just the butterfly back there. I have 2.
Do you?
One on my foot and one back there.
Nice.
Behind my ear. Yeah.
It's great. Do they hurt?
No, they're pretty small, so it took.
So, but you got them in like kind of hidden places.
Yeah,
like
I can
wouldn't
hide
even
them.
know.
Hair down, we're good. Shoes, I'm good. But no, they didn't hurt. I mean, they took like 5 minutes each. So
See, I just don't know what. I don't have anything that I think. I don't know. I'd change my mind. I'm too scared of not liking it. That's what it's weird. I'm just too scared.
Oh
of
yeah, for mine, I for sure wrote it down, like had it printed out and what it was going to be for like 6 months.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I'm like, I still like it. Okay,
that's great. That's good. That's the way. It's the way to do it.
So let's talk style for a sec. Are there any style trends that you are just sick of? Like you're ready to see go away?
Let's see.
I mean, like the drop crotch pants and stuff. I'm kind of over those, or like those shoes that look like gloves.
Yeah, I don't like the. I definitely don't like the glove shoes. I don't like. I mean, there's some weird stuff out there. I mean, some people look like aliens the way they dress up now too. I'm kind of over that, like the super extreme look.
Right.
Let's see. I'm over all these brands trying to do retro shoes and products, even when the products aren't that good. Like, not everything needs to be retro. I just got like some shoes in the mail today from somebody, and we were like, why would you even come out with these again? Like, they weren't like, oh, you're just trying too hard. You're late in the trend if this is years ago. So yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. It sucks.
What about any style trends that you really like?
Let's see. What do I like? It's a great question. I mean, when I started in the industry, I was wearing like, it was hot, all the big baggy stuff, and now it's kind of in between that, because then it got like tight and smaller. Now it's kind of expanding. It's like tighter but longer and things like that, which is kind of cool. So you kind of you can get away with a little bit of either way, which is kind of cool. I like some of the pants now. You can see the shoes more, so I'm a big shoe head, so we do that. And obviously, like, I'm just such a sneakerhead. I got so many pairs of shoes. That's what, I'm always into.
Hey, that's a question. How many shoes do you think you have?
I think if I had to guess, I'd say right now probably around like 2,500. Yeah.
Whoa!
Too many.
That's nuts.
Too many.
I thought I had a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
That is impressive. So how does that, I'm going off topic here, continuing with that topic.
Go ahead.
Do you have like a whole room for these shoes?
Multiple rooms. Luckily, I have a huge garage that I actually had to get refinished last year just so I could store some of my shoes in there.
Are they all like pretty displayed, like so you can see all of them?
Some of them are. They're all in their boxes, all in like original boxes. Yeah. Most of them are unworn. Most of them are still like brand new in the boxes and stuff. It's like my collection. So it's crazy. Yeah, it's tough. I got to figure out what to do with it. I'm looking for a bigger place. I got to do something. I'm just totally out of room.
For the shoes.
Yeah, I have like 2 bedrooms already full of them, a whole garage. It's nuts. Yeah.
You rent them out or something.
Yeah, right?
So you are big into sports, as you just mentioned. Do you still want to buy the Timberwolves?
For sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Mark Cuban's going to help me with that. He's already said it on record, so shout out to him. It's going to happen.
So in the past, you've worked with Floyd Mayweather, and obviously he's got a pretty huge fight coming up in like a month, less than a month. So I'm assuming you'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm probably going to go out there. I think he's going to win I think he's just so quick. I mean, when you watch him in person, and Pacquiao looked good too. I was at his last fight actually in Macau of all places, and Pacquiao looked a lot better than I thought he would. But Floyd is just, when you see him in person, he's just so fast, so quick. I just don't think anybody else has a chance to even hit him, and he just outlasts everybody.
Okay. All right, gonna see it live. That's probably
for sure. And we're gonna put some of that footage, I think, too, on Skee TV and Fuse this year. So
awesome.
Yeah,
that's super cool. So in addition to everything else we've talked about, you're also a pretty active philanthropist and have been involved with a number of charity organizations like the UN Foundation, Music Cares, After School All Stars, Lupe Fiasco's Foundation, and more. So are there any charity organizations that are really near and dear to your heart?
Everything. I've never done my own charity, and people always ask, why don't you do your own? Because I feel like there's so many great ones out there and so many causes, and it's like, I again, if you see, I'm so varied with all the things. I'm not just into just one thing. It's so many different things. I like supporting all these different causes. So like when we did something with him recently, there's crazy things going on in Chicago, and he's really trying to combat that. And his sister runs his foundation. It's a great cause. So, I'm like, look, I'm in whatever I can do here. With the UN Foundation, it's great great because I'm able to navigate between all these different causes that they have across the world. It's not just tied into one thing, and so that's awesome. And then working with just everything out here from, all the other foundations, and especially like Music Cares and, to Grammy U and all these other incredible things out here. It's just, it's kind of what my passion and fun thing is. I'm really at that stage where I want to help empower others and say, like, look, if I made it, I'm just a kid. I'm not supposed to be out here. If I did, anybody else can, and show that it can be done. So that's why I do a lot of those music-based charities as well.
That's awesome. I think that's so important to,
for sure.
You've worked obviously very hard to get to where you are, and now are enjoying a certain level of success. And so it's awesome to be
always
able
have to give back.
Yeah, to give back and to help kind of bring up the next level generation of business leaders, musicians, all that. So what is something that our viewers and listeners wouldn't know about you?
Ooh.
Like a Skee secret here.
I'm vegetarian, and I've never
Really?
Well, some people might know. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, there's a secret.
How come?
I stopped eating red meat when I was like 16. I just never really liked it. I was never a huge fan of it, and I just did it to be healthy. Up until then, I've been like on and off. I used to eat like chicken and stuff, but I just went total vegetarian mid late last year.
Interesting. That would be so hard.
Yeah, it's it's actually easier. It's when it's easy when you go to like different countries like China and you don't know what's in the food.
Yeah,
and you're like, you don't know what kind of meat. I'm just like vegetarian. The worst it can be is a plant. It's not anything else that it's not supposed to be. So it actually makes it easier in some aspects. And I live in LA, so it's not hard to find. And
there's like the world's pickiest eaters here, so you're just fine being a vegetarian.
Oh yeah.
So. In addition to that, with some secrets, do you have any hidden talents? Obviously, we've talked about several of your very well-known talents.
Hidden talents?
Random talents?
I wish. If I have any decent sense of talent, I throw...
Like handstand walk?
No,
I can't.
I can't do anything. Everything that I can do, I do for work. Yeah, I'm like, hey, let's do it. I wish I could. Oh, man, that's awesome. I wish I could, be a great dancer. I can't do anything.
Hey, dancing, I feel like, goes right in the whole wheelhouse of what you've got going on in there.
Not for me. That's why I'm DJ.
Yeah.
I can dance on stage.
You'd be there.
Good for that, for sure. I'll provide the soundtrack, but yeah.
So, what about a song that you wish you'd worked on?
So many. A song that I wished I'd worked on. I'm trying to think of something epic. You know what album I really like is Kanye's My Twisted Dark Fantasy, because he brought in so many different levels of real orchestras and all that, and it's one of my favorite albums from him. And there's just some records, like even the title track on there, that I always think are just so epic. So just to see the production within that, I think would have been really incredible to work on.
Yeah. What's your favorite app?
Dash Radio, of course.
Yes. After Dash Radio. Your favorite? After Fuse TV.
Let me look. Let me look. So I'm going to go on my screen right now. So we have, let's see, I have my apps that are called Waste of Time, which is like,
nice.
That reminds me I can't be on like Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook all day. I have all my music apps right then. I'm trying to think of something fun. Nike Running is good because I can run with it. Let's see, I'd say, it's a tough question. I'm not going to say, I can't say like email or text or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I like a lot?
The Gmail app.
There's a couple. Actually, can I say a couple?
Yeah, please.
So one is Evernote. That's kind of where I live by that and keep everything within that. Another is the Philips Hue. There's like various versions of it, but I connect to you because I've got these Hue lights at my house. My house is all wired for it. So it can change colors or like go to the rhythms of different beats. So that's really cool. So I'd say probably those two ones are fun. And I'm a shoe head, so I like this Nike sneakers app.
Nice.
So.
All right. And now how about continuing with the phone thing, what's your favorite emoji to use?
I always use the pound sign to everybody because a lot of people always hit me up on like Snapchat, and I try to reply to as many people as I can because they're always saying something nice.
What's your Snapchat?
That. Just DJ Skee. Yeah, just DJ Skee for everything. I'll use the bomb. I'll use... I don't know. I like the dancing lady because it's so random.
The little poo is my favorite.
Yeah. I like the red dress dancing lady because it's so weird and randomly awkward. So a lot of times I'll just send random ones to people that make no sense just to see what the reaction is.
You're like, this seems appropriate for that response. There we go.
And it's like, what? It's like, take it to whatever you mean.
Yeah, take it or leave it. Go with it. The new ones are overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to them.
There's a lot going on there. What's the next place that you would want to travel to?
Good question. Let's see. Well, I'm excited. I'm going. Looks like I'm going to Japan. I've never been to Japan, believe it or not. I've been through other parts of Asia, so I'm going there. I think late this summer. So I'm really excited to go to Tokyo and just the whole country and see there. But I really want to go to Bora Bora, stay in the huts over, the ocean.
Oh yeah.
I'd say that's it for sure.
Awesome. If you had to pick 3 artists to have on your iPhone, iPod, or whatever music listening device you're working with this week, who would you pick?
This week, Kendrick Lamar, because I love his new album. Let's see. I'll probably go with, damn, there's so many records. It's tough. It's on the spot. This week, 3 artists. Damn. You know, I'm listening to a lot
not like
of
forever.
Yeah. I'll say the KIIS stuff because I'm into. Oh,
anything.
that's a great question. So then I'll say like the KIIS stuff because I really like. I'm into, again, like that tropical house stuff that he's kind of leading. And then the third one, say The Weeknd because I was watching his set at Coachella and I really liked it. So shout out to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite act at Coachella? Or a few?
I thought his was really good. I really like Tyler, the Creators. I thought his was just, you know, madness as always. And I actually really like his project too. I think it's going to surprising a lot of people. It's a little different. See, Coachella, there were some good performances. I didn't go out. I just streamed some of the ones that I wanted to see. Foster Damas' set was pretty dope. There's some good ones. I was watching Fits and the Tantrums. They're sick. There's so much good music out there right now.
Yeah, definitely. And we were talking a little TV before this. Are you a big TV watcher?
I like binge watch things. So I don't watch. I watch a few shows, but I watch like all of them. So ones I've gotten through. I'm into all the. I mean, it sucks because now everybody's into them because I guess they're really good, which is a good thing. But it's like Homeland to you know, what did we just get? The Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy. I liked. A lot of the HBO stuff. Yeah, all that. That's what I like. So it's like the HBO. That's why I was asking you what I should binge watch next. Man. Like House of Cards. But
House of Cards is good.
Great.
You have to pay. Have you watched it all?
Yes, I've watched them all.
One you have to.
Of course.
I'm like halfway through season 3. I still haven't watched it all.
I like Better Call Saul. I've been watching that.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I'm trying to think of what else there is. That's really, I mean, other than that, it's like sports or shows that I DVR or just binge on at a time.
I just binged through Californication.
Is that good? I've watched bits and pieces.
Very graphic.
Really?
I mean, there's like sex going on every 5 seconds, but I thought it was great.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Because I've caught bits and pieces, but never really I was like, eh.
I thought it was good. I mean,
I started watching Entourage again too, just to get ready for the movie because my boy is doing all the music for the movie, and it's going to be really epic.
Awesome.
So I'm like, all right, let me get caught back up on the TV stuff.
Rewatching all that stuff. That was a solid show. So I think that wraps it up with all my questions. Is there anything else that you want everyone out there to know?
That was great. Just that they should watch Skee TV.
Oh yeah.
On Fuse every Thursday night, 10:30.
Thursday nights. Yep. Check
Best
it out.
music show on TV.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. We really have the coolest stage, the best artists, questions you won't see anywhere else. So it's really fun.
I was there for the launch party, and it was an awesome
You tell
experience.
them.
Yeah.
See.
Great stage setup over at Ivar Theater and the studio at the film school. It's just all really cool. And as you heard from Skee earlier, he is on top of all the latest trends when it comes to music, style, you name it. So this is the guy to listen to.
We just try to find good stuff and put it on.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much again for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV.
Thank you guys.
What are so in addition to Skee TV, any cool projects people should keep an eye out for?
All I'm focused my life right now is Skee TV and Dash Radio.
Yep.
You know, that's what I want to do. Take over the whole TV music world and take over the whole radio world, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Then I can go buy my Timberwolves.
Yeah, perfect. And where can everybody find you online?
Just at DJ Skee for everything. I mean, DJSkee.com is the website. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat is at DJ Skee.
All of it.
Yeah, that's it.
DJ Skee. Perfect. Thank you guys out there so much. I'm Lauren Salaun, and you can find me everywhere online at Lauren Salaun. It's probably right here. And this has been another AfterBuzz TV Spotlight On. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, and check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud as well. Thank you guys all for listening.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.